Don Lemon was recently fired from Twitter by Elon Musk for trying to conduct an interview that was kind of a gotcha interview. And of course, our usual suspects, The View, Joy Behar, Whoopi Goldberg, and the rest of them are absolutely melting down over the fact that Don Lemon was fired for trying to conduct a gotcha interview with his boss, Elon Musk. And Don Lemon actually joins The View on here to talk and to complain about his firing from X and the end of his partnership, as they call it on The View, between Don Lemon and Elon Musk. Let's check out this interview here between The View and Don Lemon talking about his firing from the X platform.
So maybe you've heard this week there's some news with Don Lemon, and he's here today, journalist Don Lemon.
Journalists used very loosely in this sense.
Okay, here's the story. Before we go, he's having a menopausal So Don Lemon was supposed to kick off his partnership with Elon Musk on the billionaire social media platform X, also known or previously known as Twitter, but next week. But instead, Musk just ended up cutting ties with our darling Don Lemon after a rather tense interview session. Watch.
Hate speech on the platform is up. Do you believe that X and you have some responsibility to moderate hate speech on the platform? That you wouldn't have to answer these questions from reporters about the Great Replacement Theory as it relates to Democrats?
I don't have to answer these questions.
The Great Replacement Theory as it relates to Jewish people. Do you think that?
I don't have to answer questions from reporters. Don, the only reason I'm doing this interview is because you're on the X platform and you asked for it. Otherwise, I would not do this interview.
So you don't think? Do you think that you wouldn't get in trouble or you wouldn't be criticized for these things?
I'm criticized constantly. I could care less.
What a snowflake. What a snowflake. Wow.
That's so rich coming from Joy Behar and anybody on The View, talking about Elon Musk being a snowflake. If anybody knows me, I'm personally not the biggest Elon Musk fan. I think he talks about this free speech thing all the time, and he doesn't actually provide free speech on his platform. He banned people for speech literally all the time. So I'm not the hugest fan of Elon Musk at all. But it is very rich for these people on The View to be complaining about Elon Musk being a snowflake whenever their job is literally to be old and complain to other old, miserable women. That is what they get paid to do. That is what Joy Behar and the rest of The View gets paid to do. So to call Elon Musk a snowflake as you're interviewing Don Lemon, I mean, it's very hypocritical. You can't deny that.
Wow. Please welcome Don Lemon.
Joy, let me just say that I was determined to get a reason to have the fan is because I jumped out of the car sitting in traffic at Times Square.
Yeah.
No, at Herald Square. I jumped out of the car, got on the subway, and ran 8 blocks just to be with you ladies.
Did you really?
I did.
I'm glad you explained it because TMC is going to be...
TMC is outside, by the way.
Now Don Lemon's running down the streets of New York like a crazy man. Okay, so before we get to what happened exactly that happened, let's back it up a bit. Because when you left CNN last year, Elon Musk actively courted you to be on Twitter, X, whatever he calls it. Have you considered doing a show, he said, on this platform? Maybe worth a try. Audience is much bigger, said Elon Musk. But everyone knows how controversial Musk is. So I have to ask you, didn't you know this was going to end badly? He's, Musk is not really,
I went into this with my eyes open. And look, this is just an old saying in the South, and they say, you knew I was a snake before you picked me up.
Yeah.
I'm not saying he's a snake, but I'm just saying that.
What is Joy Behar even insinuating here? Like, that Elon wasn't what? At least he's willing to have Don Lemon be on his platform and pay him money to post on X. You guys wouldn't even let anyone who has differing viewpoints than you, like the farthest you'll go is Dr. Phil for the person who has differing viewpoints than you. You have a fake conservative on the panel who, they claim that she's a conservative, but she literally just agrees with the rest of the View's panel, with Joy Behar, Whoopi Goldberg, Sunny Hosta, and the rest of them. She literally just agrees with them, but in a less, disgusting or hyperbolic way than the rest of them do. She literally just has the same opinions, but she's supposed to be the conservative, the voice of the other side on these panels. And yet Elon Musk is the snowflake when he's willing to allow Don Lemon on his platform.
It's relative to this. So I went into this with my eyes open, but truly, I went into it with the best of intentions. I heard your conversation just briefly about independence. I'm an independent, regardless of what people think. Elon Musk thinks I'm on the left or what have you. I'm an independent. I believe in free speech. I believe that people have the right to say whatever they want to say, but you suffer the consequences for it when you say it.
Right.
So I took them at their word. They courted me for months.
Yeah.
And when their new CEO came aboard, she courted me. Their management team courted me. They sweetened the deals with incentives. And I said that was the biggest and best place for me to launch a show. And because what's happening with television now and what have you, it's shrinking.
Yeah.
But I thought, why seed Twitter or X is one of the biggest social media platforms in the world, one of the biggest information platforms in the world. Why cede that platform to extremists?
Yeah.
So I wanted to get on there and I wanted to fight it out so everyone could have a voice.
Yeah, and they were basically begging you to do it.
Yeah, they were.
If you enjoy content like this, then please hit that like button and subscribe to the channel. It really does help me out a ton. Let's get back to the video.
And you did it even though a lot of your friends told you were crazy.
Like you.
Thank you.
Like you.
I did too. But so Elon Musk famously claims to be a big proponent of free speech. He refers to himself as a free speech absolutist. He calls X the digital town squares. Yeah. And he willingly agreed to this interview that you asked for. And said that there were no restrictions. So what exactly happened? What set him off? And then he sends this terse text to your agent saying, contract is canceled. What was your reaction?
The law doesn't really work like that, Elon. Go ahead.
All right, we'll talk about that because there's a lot going on about that. What happened? Really, look, I would say that is. That's a good question for Elon Musk because he knows who Don Lemon is. He knew who I was. He asked me to come on the platform. He offered incentives and money. They agreed to a deal. They flew me out to Las Vegas to announce this at CES. They trotted me out in front of clients, in front of advertisers. I went.
I'm sure he expected just like common courtesy of respect to not try to conduct a gotcha interview with the boss, with the person who's paying you to be on his platform. I'm pretty sure Elon Musk knew who Don Lemon was, but I think at the very least, Elon could have expected him to not try to do a gotcha interview. I feel like that's very, very disrespectful of him to do that.
To the Twitter offices to do client meetings and to try to entice advertisers back to the platform. So I was a good soldier. I was doing my job. So what happened? I think it was just uncomfortable for him to sit in front of someone and actually have to answer questions, to be held accountable.
Right.
To really, instead of being in a friendly, usually for the most part, his interviews are with a friendly crowd.
Did he not ever see you on television?
Yeah.
That's what I didn't understand, yeah.
Yes, but I would be.
Well, he thought because he
thought he bought you.
You were supposed to kneel at the
must
altar.
But that's not what journalists do.
Right.
I know that, but here's
and there's there are people out there saying, you shouldn't. He was your boss. First of all, he's not my boss.
Right.
I didn't work for X. They had no editorial control over my show. They were a distribution partner. It was not an X show. Everyone thought it was an X show.
Right.
They only had exclusive content, just a couple of episodes, 3 episodes a week, but like 10 minutes on top of that for 10 times a month. They had exclusive content that was to be exclusive to them for 24 hours, and it was going to go everywhere. My show was always going to go everywhere.
That sounds like a good contract.
Yes, it is.
You're still going to put it on X.
Of course I'm going to put it on X, and I would dare anyone, and especially Elon Musk, to watch this interview and tell me why this isn't exactly what X needed and what he wanted me to come
Well, let me ask you this. So in the clip earlier, you asked Musk about the rise of hate speech on X, including the Great Replacement Theory. As the owner of one of the largest social media platforms in the world, with over 600 million monthly active users, did he take any accountability for that type of content? And you also brought an exclusive clip for us today, so I really want to see that. But did he take accountability for it at all?
No, he did not. I think, and what you're going to see is I challenged him on that. And you asked me what he didn't like, and it's really facts.
It's this.
Right.
Okay.
So this is. Can I set it up for you? So this is what you remember what happened with the Alaskan Airlines plane when the door fell off, and then there was a woman pilot, the woman who was piloting the plane, but they landed safely, and then he tweeted about it saying DEI, basically saying DEI was making the skies unsafe.
She landed it safely.
But that was my point. So,
They need to know what DEI is.
Do you believe that women and minority pilots are inherently less intelligent and less skilled than white male pilots?
No, I'm just saying that we should not lower the standards for them.
But there's no evidence that standards are being lowered when it comes to the airline industry.
You've repeatedly said that there's no evidence that standards are being lowered, and watch the replies showing all the evidence that it is.
Replies, though, on social.
I mean, if you're hiring people just off of gender and race, then obviously inherently the standards are going to be lowered because you're not hiring people that are the best for their job. Like, that's just how it works. There doesn't have to be facts and evidence provided for that. I don't even know how you would go about providing those facts and evidence, unless planes literally start to crash. That would be the only way. But even then, they would still find a way to dispute it if that was the case. So just the simple fact that they are using race and gender as a hiring tool, as a hiring measurement, that proves that they're discriminating, right? They're not just hiring people who are best at their job. They're hiring people because they're certain colors and because they have certain body parts. That right there alone tells you that they are lowering the standards for certain people with certain skin colors and certain body parts.
Social media or on Twitter are not necessarily fact and evidence. That's people's opinion.
They will cite in the replies to this. You'll see how often the information is cited, showing that indeed there are significant cases where standards are lowered.
Oh, so he just believes conspiracy theory.
Explain to them what DEI stands for. Not everybody knows.
Diversity, equity, and inclusion. Basically, it's making sure.
He just believes conspiracy theories. You mean the conspiracy theories that have been right every single time for the past 5 years, every single time.
that that the workforce reflects the population
Right.
of the country,
Right.
for women, minorities, for all people,
Right.
right? But the whole point of that exchange was Boeing took responsibility for that,
Yeah.
saying that it was a faulty door, and it was a woman pilot who landed the plane
landed it,
safely.
yeah.
Doesn't that mean she's qualified?
Right.
Without incident. And
Maybe more qualified.
Well, you can see that sexism and misogyny is not rational.
Very quickly, because we're tight on time. You asked him about his meeting with Trump. Did he give any indication? He said at this time he's not backing anyone specifically, but did he show his hand on if he would support Trump?
You have to watch, Alyssa.
Oh.
You have to watch. He did, though. I'm just having fun with you. He did talk about the meeting, why he went down, the context and the venue they were in, and he did talk to me about what the former president.
Well, brother,
had to
I
say.
think getting
I don't think Elon has the balls to endorse Trump or to outwardly support Donald Trump as, the person who should win the election. I think that he'll probably say something along the lines of he's the lesser of two evils, or we can't have Joe Biden back in there, but he's not going to say I like Trump as the president. He's not going to say that. Elon's just not that kind of guy. He doesn't have that kind of balls. He doesn't want to lose advertisers like that. So let me know in the comments what you guys are thinking about this Don Lemon appearance on The View. What do you think about what The View had to say? They're very obviously very biased and very angry that Elon Musk fired Don Lemon, calling Elon a snowflake. It's crazy coming out of the mouths of the people on The View. People like Sunny Hostin, Joy Behar, and Whoopi Goldberg, and the rest of them. Wild coming out of their mouths. But let me know what you guys are thinking about this whole situation in the comments. If you did enjoy the video, please leave a like, subscribe, all that good stuff. And I hope to see you guys on the next one.